Hello everybody, Starcraft here again for Game 2 between Naniwa spawning as the blue Protoss down in the bottom left side of the map, and in the top right it is Ace's Scarlett as the purple Zerg. Now this is Game 2 from IPL 5, which stands for the International Pro League, which was a sweet tournament held in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. With all the best players, as it was held at the same time as the GSL, and a lot of the top players, the big name players like I don't know, DRG, Nesty, blah blah blah, they didn't actually do too well in the GSL like everyone would have expected them to, but they still played a bunch of games in the IPL. So it's a really cool tournament to see. Everyone duking it out, but yeah, this is going to be game 2 between these two badass players. Naniwa, he is Swedish, but he's pretty much Korean at the moment. He's living in the GomTV household in Korea. Apparently he's had a fair amount of controversy in the past. He's going to drop down that gateway at 13, interestingly enough, because he's been, apparently he's a bit of a douche, just in general. I don't know how true that is. That's just what I've read online. Spawning pool going down there for Scarlett around 13 as well. Apparently he used to cheese a lot because he didn't have a lot of confidence in his playstyle. But hey, he doesn't do that anymore. As game 1 he definitely didn't cheese. You can check that out if you want. It's also on my channel, youtube.com/StarCraft. And if you guys want to subscribe, I will love you forever. Double gas going down for Naniwa at 17, just after that pylon. So this is a pretty sick build. I like to try and do this on ladder, but I'm pretty terrible at it. And there goes the hatch for Scarlett. Interesting enough, going spawning pool first. Probably more typical build, but I guess it's not the greediest build. It's a bit safer. Naniwa hasn't done any scouting yet, I do believe. So he's just kind of content. He's probably done this build a million times before, using all his chrono on his probes and just getting out the zealot. And this overlord is going to be coming in, seeing what's going down, make sure that there's no cheese. And here comes a few linglings, but the zealot will be done in time to deal with that. So yeah, game 1 was pretty sick. I actually don't remember, because I did it quite a while ago, who won that game. It actually turned out to be one of the most popular games on my channel, so I guess the fans dig Naniwa or Scarlett. Scarlett is the only female pro female Starcraft 2 player that I've ever casted. I don't really know how many are out there. I'm sure there are a few, but you know, there's a lot more men. Let's just face it. I mean, my demographic is like 96 to 100% male, so yeah. Chicks do not dig StarCraft, but chicks dig nerds. That is a fact of life. And these lings are going to be content, not probing in there, taking on that zealot. Although Scarlett has already seen what she wants to do, so she's just going to save those lings for now. I'd be interested to see if she goes for a super early 3rd hatch, which a lot of players have been doing. She does already have a gas though. So, oh no, she is. She's dropping that hatch around 5 minutes. And Naniwa has no idea that is happening, as he just lost his probe. But there goes his Nexus. So both players playing pretty heavy macro style so far. No surprises there, as this is kind of what happens in the pro matchups. And you might be thinking, you know, James, when I do these kind of builds on ladder, you know, I just get completely owned. Like if I don't forge fast expand when I'm playing against Zerg, I just get like, you know, ling rushed, and it's GG by the 4-minute mark or something like that. But the thing is, these players know each other's play style. They scout pretty well. Even though Naniwa didn't, he's got like a Naniwa spidey sense, and he knows that if he just has one zealot, he'll be able to hold off along with his probes as well. And if he micros decently enough, he'll be able to hold off whatever ling Scarlett can throw at him. And he knows that, you know, Zerg players at this highest level, they play pretty greedy. They like to get out their 3rd hatch relatively early, either around the 4.5 minutes, probably the earliest hatch you'll see. Is that a complete wall in? No, there's else there. And then the next kind of most standard. What the fuzz? a War Prism. That is one early War Prism. These things going to be chasing that down. And then the second kind of typical hatch, third hatch you see is 6 minutes. But most players kind of, hello Hillary the Shark, get it around 9-10 minutes on ladder. But the pros can just do it so much earlier because they know how to defend lots of things. And this is kind of interesting, this really early War Prism. I don't really know what the point of it is, as there are queens here to deal with it. I guess it can do a lot of scouting, but at the same time, you're not going to be seeing anything that interesting, except for the Roach Warren. I don't think that, did it see the Roach Warren? It saw the Evo Chamber. Not sure about the Roach Warren. So kind of failed War Prism scout there. Whole bunch of sentries. This might be a kind of immortal sentry. Yeah, it looks like it is going to be some sort of immortal sentry. Lots of Protoss players can do a really sick timing with this. Oh no, it's going to be transitioning into Colossus. So even if he didn't see the Roach Warren, he's definitely doing the right counter right now. And this War Prism is going to be able to chill on out of there, as queens are so goddamn slow off creep. And double gas, 4 gas. So 4 gas so far for both players. And that's a sneaky pylon. Nothing too interesting there. Getting out that immortal. Getting that robotics bay. I don't know if he'll go straight for extended thermal lance. Might try and get out his first Colossus first. And then get that when he can afford to. What is upgrades like at the moment? Still 0-0. Just getting that first attack upgrade now. And so is Scarlett getting that 1 attack up. Got a bunch of links. If we look at the overall supply, it's fairly even. Naniwa has quite a lot less workers, but a high army supply. So this could be some sort of 2-base all-in, as right now his income isn't going to be as good as Scarlett's. You can see there he's way behind on the income. So the earlier he attacks, the better for him, because the more he falls behind on income, the more he falls behind on macro, you know, the harder it's going to be for him to come back. So he needs to do something with these Colossus. He needs to find the right timing where his army supply is too strong, but Scarlett's just shot up heaps in her army supply. So Naniwa's going to have to use some sweet ass force fields or something if he wants to survive here. He's bringing in that War Prism so he can warp in backup units, but so far he's only got 1 Colossus. Usually you see TOS players going in after 2 Colossus, Colossi, sorry. But yeah, he's going in even before that 1 attack. So he might just hold out here for a bit longer. Scarlett definitely has enough to deal with this though, if she uses it properly, as her army supply is almost twice Naniwa. So somehow, that's what happens when you play Zerg and they go for that super early hatch. You have to attack really early on and punish them, otherwise they're just going to get way too far ahead. As you can see, Scarlett has gotten so far ahead now. Pretty average force fields over here, a few decent ones over there. This 1 Colossus though is doing pretty well with the splash damage. This War Prism microing really nicely, keeping those immortals alive as long as possible. You can see right there, both getting picked up just before they die. These force fields effectively trapping these roaches really nicely. He needs to micro this Colossus over here so it doesn't get attacked by these roaches. Moves it on now. More force fields, and these immortals have been doing so well. That one, I don't know how much. Oh, it goes down there. The Colossus is up to 12 kills. These Stalkers, 5 kills, 1 kill, 5, 7. So they're doing freaking awesome as well. But there's just too much here from Scarlett. And Naniwa, trying to keep this Colossus alive, decides to send him on out of there. Stalker's getting cleaned up. Easy peasy. Observer's chilling over here. And this Colossus is freaking out right now, going, oh god, that is not where I parked my car. And it does get taken out there. And right now, Naniwa, he really doesn't have anything left. He's got 7 army supply, which is shit all at this stage of the game. He's trying to get out more Colossi, getting the Thermal Lance, at the same time getting the Twilight Council. But hey, oh, here comes Scarlett, and he is completely screwed. He doesn't even have enough energy. Oh, he's got enough energy for 1 force field, and he's got 1 Colossus getting in the ground attack. But Scarlett has so much stuff. I don't know how Naniwa is going to hold this off. And like I said, that's the problem when you go up against super early 3-base Zerg, when they're being that greedy, getting a 5-minute third hatch. You rarely have to punish them. He needed to use that War Prism. Because remember when I checked the army supply earlier, he had effectively double the army supply. And then literally 2 or 3 minutes later, Scarlett's army supply. Oh, nice use of the corrupt ability there. Scarlett's army supply had like shot up by about 20 over Naniwa's. So he needed to attack when he had that slight advantage earlier on, when Scarlett was just producing drones, because as soon as she switched into army units, she just completely took over. So Naniwa is kind of slowly holding on right now. I don't know if he has, I don't think he has charge or anything like that. He is going to engage here. I question if that's the right thing to do. Scarlett's got to be very careful with these drones though, because the Colossus, you can see, does so much splash damage against them. And he needs to take a third base here if he's going to hold on. That second defense might be up. More Colossus is probably the best bet against roaches. He is getting out blink over charge, which is interesting because he has no stalkers yet and lots. But hey, oh, this creep is so annoying to deal with. You need to move your zealot out of the way, otherwise your probe is just going to chill there all day long and not and not drop the there we go, go drop your nexus. How do you do that thing where you go to the right of zooming in? I don't know. Oh god, you brave probe. Overall resources lost though is very tied up, so even though Scarlett probably has a huge advantage right now with way more army supply, way more worker supply, you know, Colossi are pretty good. So we'll see. A lot of Lings though, and a lot of roaches on the field, and I don't know if Naniwa is going to be able to hold on to this third base. He does have 4 Colossi here though, and here we go. The cancel is forced there, and that's all Scarlett really wanted. So Naniwa needs to get ready to utilize this choke point here with that splash damage from the Colossi as much as he can. But Scarlett is just falling so far ahead in the income as Naniwa has not been able to get up that third base. He needs some third base Viagra, man. You know what I'm talking about, you silly one-eyed shark. But yeah, more Colossi. Getting on another War Prism. Greatest Spire on the way for Scarlett. So I feel like once she gets out of Broodlords, that is going to be GG, man, because Naniwa does not have enough Stalkers to deal with that. And Corruptor's already on the way for these Colossi, but if he can move in before the Corruptors pop out, don't underestimate Colossi with the Thermal Lance. They do a lot of freaking damage against what Scarlett has. She does have Infestors here. Oh god, no, she has the Corruptors. So this is going to be tricky for Naniwa. He needs to micro like a god right now. Force field's going down. You can see the attack command on the Colossi. One falls. Second one getting honed down. Oh god. It does fall there. Only 3 Colossi left. Third one is getting honed down. There are so many Corruptors here to deal with that. The Stalkers are trying to take them out, but there's just not enough here. And these Infested Terrans, man, they are so OP. And freaking Infestors, thank god they got nerfed in Hoths, man, because they're just too good in Wings of Liberty. And I know this probably isn't the time to have a balanced discussion, but Infestors just piss me off because they are so goddamn good. Once you have Infestors on the field, it's just GG, and there you have it. Naniwa, he was behind pretty much the whole time, and he just didn't attack at the right time. He needed to move out when his army supply was higher, because Scarlett went for a heavy macro style, definitely favored the mid game, and once it entered the mid game, once she got those Infestors and the Corruptors, you know, once Naniwa lost this Colossus, it was game over. So that's game 2. I am going to go ahead and cast game 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys later.